Welcome to a series I like to call Chaos Island Behind the Scenes. Now I'm going to be telling you guys how we kind of did like these custom trees and the spawn area. So yeah, let's dive straight into it. The goal of Chaos Island was to essentially create as many like tree variants as possible with all the different types of wood that we could within the island, and I'll show you basically how we like copy and pasted these around and made these trees. So right here we have our tree stencils that we made just floating in the air. First we do like position 1, and this position at the highest point of the tree, and the lowest point of the tree we do position 2, so that it is all like saved within the same coordinates. And then we do / copy like this. And this is how we essentially like paste our trees around, and we just do / paste to put it down. And as you can see, sometimes the grass kind of like messes it up, but you could just fix it up and it'll be perfectly fine. If you want to undo the tree, you just simply type in the command / undo, and the tree will just disappear and act like nothing is there. As you can see here, we're also making some jungle and mangrove variants as well of palm trees, just so players have access to more wood types throughout the series. As you can see here, I basically just like brought a block off of my tree just so it's like further away enough, but basically I build like the trunk first, and then I kind of like make branches outwards of the trees, and I just do it kind of randomly. I don't think about it too much, and I try to like remove as much logs as possible so it doesn't look so chunky. So I try to like trim it and like make adjustments to it, and then I use this brush, which I'll show you what the command is later, to apply the leaves, just so it makes my lives a bit easier and I don't have to like, go back and do it. And after that, I just basically add some fences in the tree to make it, to make the branches have a bit more variety to them. And then I basically like volume up the tree a bit more, just so it looks more like a tree and less flat. And as you can see here, I basically just type / brush, and I type after that spear, and then I make it out of oak leaves, and then I put like this command to make sure like the leaves don't decay or anything, and then I put air as well, and then it creates this brush where some of the parts of it are air and some of the parts of it are leaves, which are perfect for trees. I basically applied this formula for the birch trees and the dark oak trees as well. For palm trees, I do it a bit differently, and Pepper made these, so I'm kind of just mimicking what I see. But basically, you put logs down in a pattern sort of like this, and you put some fences around to create more dimension for the trees. And then after that, you essentially just place leaves and kind of do them in this weird sort of like arch pattern diagonally. I'm not really sure how to explain this, but you can see like roughly what I'm trying to do here. I'm making the leaves kind of like sog downwards, if that's one way to describe it. And then I do like a couple layers of this basically. So as you can see, I am going like above the current layer, and I'm making more and putting them in all directions possible basically to create more variety within the trees, and to really like make the volume bigger. And yeah, after I'm done all those layers, I basically get like the palm tree effect that we have here. And basically after that, I just put in some cocoa beans and then finished it. Next up is the spruce tree, which firstly I kind of just make the stump and I build as tall as I can when I get to like the main part of the tree. As you can see, I built it pretty high up, and what I'm doing now is I'm kind of making like branches off it, and on the bottom you want to make them longer than the ones on the top. So basically what I'm doing here is, as I progressively get higher and higher up the tree, I kind of just add shorter and shorter branches. And basically after that, I just kind of just spam leaves all across the tree until it makes like these triangle shapes. After that, as I go along the tree, the leaves and triangle shapes get shorter and shorter when I reach the top, and that's how I create this sort of a spruce tree effect. After I'm satisfied with the shape of my tree, I start placing a bunch of snow layers down on the tree, just so it gets that wintry effect for the mountain biome. on the island that we are building. For the final touches on the island, I wanted to add like a sand layer sort of around it to replicate it sort of being a beach. And how I did this, I did / brush spear sand, and after that I did another command as well, where it basically like sets the G mask to a, I typed it wrong, whoopsie, grass blocks and dirt, just so it only affects areas that are grass blocks and dirt, and they don't affect any other areas, the spears. So that way I could just like kind of like paint across the map the sand. And as you can see, I'm kind of doing it all the way around the island, unless there's like little stone cliff bits. I don't want to do it on those, but yeah, this is essentially how I kind of like lined the island with sand. Basically how I created terrain like this for Chaos Island. And now we're gonna get into the spawn. Now the first thing you'd probably notice about the spawn area is that one, there's particle effects here that shouldn't be here because the flames don't emit this particle. And this is because underneath the campfire I have added some command blocks with some different particle effects in them. Like this one is Minecraft lava, and I basically set it to like the perfect amount. And then as well as that, I also added some cozy campfire smoke and also flame particle on top of that to give it this effect that it is kind of like smoking all over the place, the campfire. And I basically just surrounded it with coal, basalt, and then gravel outwards, and then I kind of wanted to make more like paths around the area, and I put some coarse dirt and stuff in it. Next, my notice is the tents that Pepper made. Again, like, I don't really know how Pepper built this, but Pepper built this somehow. And you can probably get like a basic idea by just looking at the shape of it. But yeah, this essentially wraps up what we set up for like the first session of Chaos Islands. And as you can see, like everything looks so beautiful and so cool. And I am very happy and pleased with how the first session went. And yeah, you guys will be seeing that before this episode even releases. So yeah, have fun with that. And I hope you do enjoy Chaos Island, even this behind the scenes series.